Spirit is now ready to come calling for the lead. Longshoreman is still battling on towards the inside. They're not cutting in the margin from the back yet. 43-4 was that posted half-mile time. Intricate Spirit is trying to put away Longshoreman. A 16th left to go. The closers are getting closer, but Intricate Spirit win, and you're in the Juvenile Turf Sprint Division in the Futurity. It's Intricate Spirit who wins it. Joel Rosario Lane and Truman's Commander is trying to win it right now. Truman's Commander, Baytown Dreamer, gets real tight there for Capital Partner. Squeeze in between horses. Botas is trying to unleash, and here's Johnny on the grandstand side. Here's Johnny going right with Botas. These two are head and head down to the wire here in the Pilgrim. Botas to the inside. Botas beats. Here's Johnny. Let's be in, and can It's Our Time run down this lone leader, Napoleon Solo. Napoleon Solo is now 5 lengths in front, and Napoleon Solo is pouring it on. A furlong left to go. It's Our Time continues to battle. Talkin is in third, but still Napoleon Solo is just running away with it. Napoleon Solo dominates here in the Champagne, wins it. Talking up for the move yet. Does ground support brings him to the top of the lane, and ground support's got more. Ground support quickly puts about 2.5, almost 3 on the field. Deep Learning is launching. Quiet Street on the grandstand side. They have a lot of momentum, but ground support's got a lot of cushion. It's ground support approaching a 16th. Deep Learning to the inside, to the outside. Quiet Street, but no doubt ground support takes them all the way in the Miss Grillo. Ground support won it. A front running
in Desert Gate has the lead at the top of the stretch. Is asked to finish the job by Juan Hernandez now, and opens up 2 with 1 furlong to go. Here's Plutarch along the inside, trying to challenge him in second. Intrepido running a good race, 16th pole. It's Desert Gate. Plutarch on the inside hugs the rail and just keeps coming at him. Plutarch on the outside. Intrepido erupts, and Intrepido and Hector Barrios took off the final 16th to win the American Pharaoh, presented by DK Horse. Benized Explorers in front, coming to the furlong pole, opens up a 3-length lead. La Vie Lumiere and La Wally are head and head, second and third, but it's all Explorer by 5 past the 16th pole, and Explorer devastates the competition with an easy stroll in the Oak Leaf, presented by Oak Tree Racing Association.
Puerto Rico as they head down with less than 300 meters to go. And Puerto Rico and Sumion have got a 2-length lead here. Nighttime is running in second position. Then comes a Ray of Hope on the outside. Camper Seat, Imperial Misen is there, but Puerto Rico is going to follow up the good win last time and wins in style here. These Diamond Necklace, blue and orange towards the right, trying to come through with a challenge. Clear Chop is behind this, but they're well down the straight. And against the running rail, it is Green Spirit who shows in front. Island and Diamond Necklace are in second and third places. Diamond Necklace is closing down the center. Green Spirit against the running rail in front. Diamond Necklace is getting up and wins with Sumion. 2 in second position.
Tommy Joe is still second, but still trying and coming on. Percy's Bar, Tommy Joe. As they move through the final furlong, they nearly bump, they do. Now Percy's Bar has the lead. She's got it by 2. She's got it by 2.5. Percy's Bar. Runner last, Ted Nafi has taken control heading into the short stretch, but is chased by Blackout Time on the outside. 2 lengths between them. Ted Nafi with the lead. Blackout Time in second. And then Litmus Test in third. Ted Nafi now hits another gear, opens up in the closing strides. Ted Nafi to win the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. John Velasquez, 4th furlong, and it is still final score, chased by Dr. Agnew as they work toward the finish. Still final score. Turf Star has been trying to get shook loose, finds a late run, finds a late opening. Too late, though, to catch final score, who has taken the Castle and Key Bourbon by the inside. Aggressive Lime and Time to Dream have a lot of work to do. An 1/8 of a mile left to do it. Caroline is coming forward. Mackinac looks for some racing room. Soloist, Imagination the Lady. Lit Ship is still there to the inside. Soloist, Lit Ship, Imagination the Lady. And here's Imagination the Lady coming forward for a narrow lead. Late run from Time to Dream. But at the wire, Imagination the Lady to win the Jessamine presented by Keeneland Sales.
Wow, what a win and you're in weekend it was. And those were just the 2-year-old races, just the horses that we're hoping to see shine bright come Future Stars Friday, which is getting ever closer. Hey, everybody, Ren Carruthers here. This is your Future Stars forecast. And joining me, the trainer of that beautiful filly you just saw, Imagination the Lady, Brendan Walsh. Hey, Brendan.
Hi, Ren. How are you?
I'm doing well. And I mean, that was a huge weekend as it was. Fall Stars specifically for Keeneland. I mean, you're already off to an incredible start beyond just the win in your in races, which you took 2, one of those for Future Stars Friday, one of them for Champion Saturday. I mean, you took 5 of 11 races that you entered with 2 runner-up finishes and 2 third-place finishes on top of that. And that's just remarkable.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend for sure. Especially it's always great, especially for us Kentucky guys to have. It's important that we have a good Keeneland. So it started very well. So hopefully we can keep it going from here, and it's not just a flash in the pan.
No. When you were gearing up for this weekend, did you have any idea that these horses were really going to be coming through at that type of clip?
I mean, you never think you're going to do probably as well as we did, but the horses were, coming together. The 2-year-olds have been a little slow to come to hand this year because we had a very hot summer, and so they were a little bit behind. But a lot of them are starting to come to now, and we ran a bunch in Kentucky Downs in September, and we have a lot to run still at Keeneland. So. It's nice, the little extra time never hurts them anyway.
No.
So it's nice. And it's nice that some of them are showing some promise.
Yeah, oh, so that's for sure. Apart from the win in your in races, rather, you had some really nice 2-year-olds on the undercard. Turner's Charm, for example, on October 3rd, you actually took 1st and 3rd in that race, with Turner's Charm winning with Tori aboard. Mom, there's a Half to Forbidden Kingdom, but this is a daughter of Not This Time, who had an incredible weekend himself. And then in 3rd, you had Trust Account with Tyler Gaffleone aboard. That one is a half to Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf Champion Sharing, and out of Shared Account, who won the filly and mare turf. So tremendous pedigree for that filly as well. She's by Into Mischief.
Yeah, no, she is. She's a really nice filly too. She got a little trouble early on in the race and got shuffled back a little too far. But I think she's a filly's going to be very nice in time. Mr. Hyder gave a lot of money for her last year, so she looks like she's potentially pretty good. So yeah, both fillies, we were very happy with their runs, and they should go on to bigger and better things.
I have the replay here. I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead to the Turn for Home here, just to give them some love too. I know not horses that we're going to be seen making the ship out to California, but definitely ones you want to keep your eye on.
Yeah, for sure. They're 2 fillies that have, we think will be very nice fillies going forward, and they're starting to piece it together, both of them. So plenty to look forward to there.
Yeah, I mean, can you talk a little bit just about being that you have one of these babies of Not This Time, who again just had an incredible weekend? I mean, how often have you seen a sire just like dominate an entire weekend like that?
No, not very often. It's not very often you see something like that. He's obviously still a very young sire, but he's making his mark all over. He seems to get them dirt, turf, long, short, doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, he looks like he's going to be a serious stallion going forward.
Yeah, and talking about in the Jessamine itself, he actually was the sire of the trifecta there.
Yeah,
So
very
Imagination,
remarkable, yeah.
Infinite Sky, and Time to Dream. I have the replay here. And can you talk about this filly? She's now 2 for 2. She won her debut. That day, it was at Kentucky Downs with Flavien Prat aboard. in the Jessamine, again, it was Frankie Dettori, so we got the flying dismount. But just going from that 1 mile at Kentucky Downs into this mile on the 16th Jessamine.
Yeah, no, she's a filly. I think she's just going to get better and better. I'm pleasantly surprised with what she's done so far, because I always thought she was going to be a nicer 3-year-old than anything.
Really?
But she's always shown us talent. But she's a good sized filly, and she's scopy, and I think no matter what she does this year is going to be a bonus. I think she's going to be really much nicer filly next year again.
Yeah, and I mean, I look at this pedigree and it is so lit. Not to bore people who don't love pedigree like I do, but I have to acknowledge this. So she's already half to a stakes place runner, Benissimo. The second dam is multiple Grade 1 winner, multi-millionaire Sightseek, whose wins include 2 editions of the Beldame, 2 editions of the Ogden Phipps, along with the Ruffian, the Go for One, and the Humanitas staff. And don't forget, Sightseek half to another millionaire in Tate's Creek. She won the Gamely, the Yellow Ribbon, the Diana, those turf races. And another Sightseek siblings, a full sibling, in fact, Quest to the Peak, is the dam of a horse named Special Duty, who was champion 2-year-old in Europe. And Quest to Peak is also the grand dam, a Breeders' Cup Mile winner, Expert Eye. So you've already got all that ped cred there. But if you want to even put more icing on that cake and a bunch of cherries as well, or some people talk about the cherries on the Sunday. The family's tail female, the Chris Everett, and she was champion 3-year-old here. That was back in 1974, and it was her half sister that produced the great Winning Colors. So this filly is just, I mean, black type. Any way you want to slice it.
Yeah, no, it's a serious family. Obviously the stallion, as you said earlier on, is doing great. But yeah, it's deep, and you like to see that, obviously, with a lot of these type of fillies, because then it's not a surprise for them to get to where they get to.
Yeah, and I always love to see a horse finish like that. It like they know that they got it done. Horses do have expressions. I wish people who like haven't really been up and close with a horse like really understood that these horses, I mean, they can tell you. I mean, it's not just the ears. She looked very pleased with herself. How was she back at the barn?
Yeah, no, she's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's a really, really nice filly, and lovely temperament, as a lot of the good ones do. So she didn't mind Frankie doing his flying dismount there either. So hopefully there'll be lots more of them to come.
Oh my gosh, he almost skidded down there after he hit the ground. How cool is that, though? To put all the work that you do, these 2-year-olds in particular, it's really tough. And it's like you said, I mean, you don't know when you have one that you really feel could be even better, as we go along. It's not just going to be a precocious horse. You really want to nurse them along at the right pace. So there's a lot of guesswork that goes into it, but a lot of tried and true foundation as well in terms of how you train.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's they change a lot.
Yeah.
It's why even you look at their form, they beat each other all the time. Someone shows up, someone doesn't show up. They go through different stages, so they're they can be a little tricky at times, but hopefully the good ones come through, and you can keep them consistent and keep them doing well is the thing. And I think too, as the year goes on, it's they become a little more consistent, and it's probably they're getting older and they're maturing, and it probably makes the job a little easier.
Yeah. And I shouldn't say guesswork so much as you just have to be able to be spontaneous, because like you're saying, sometimes these horses, you got to shift gears unexpectedly with what they want to do, equipment changes potentially, all sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing. You're always learning about them, and you're always trying to figure them out. I mean, people ask you, they say to you sometimes, you changed the horse's style, or you did this, you did that. They don't really have a style straight away. Not just because they go to the lead on their first run doesn't mean that they're front running horses, or they come from behind doesn't mean that they're closers. you tweak stuff all the time, and they tweak stuff themselves
Yeah.
and surprise you with some stuff on that. So, the early part of it all is learning about them and what they like and they don't like, and ultimately it's to find what they do best.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And for those who don't know, I mean, you've got you know the horses top to bottom. I mean, you're really involved with the Godolphin program overseas. You ride them in the mornings, then, and I mean, you've been part of the teams that put out the horses like Street Cry.
Yeah, no, we were lucky back along, Jane, or Rain. We were involved with a lot of good horses, and I guess it all helps down the line with experience, and that you get used to being around them. And look, it's always nice to have good horses. That's what everyone strives for. So we're
Yeah.
just blessed that we've got some nice horses in the barn, and long may it continue.
Yeah. Well, it did continue that day for you on a winning note. So you closed out the Jessamine card with a win in the nightcap, the main special weight with Raiding Party. And the interesting thing about this filly, and I know at this point it's like a little late in the game to shift gears to think about going California, but still, I got to give her some love because the final time in the Jessamine, 142 and 61/100ths. This filly Raiding Party making her debut, mile 16th on that same turf course that same day, 142 and 14/100ths. I actually have the replay here because, again, this is going to be one we're going to want to keep our eye on going forward. Here she is.
And they're off.
Let me go ahead and mute that out. And I mean, I know that everybody likes if you could first out great. I know that's not a pressure you necessarily put on yourself or your team. You just want your horses to perform well. You run them when they're ready, and if they win, great. Did you expect this from her? 2-length, which is going to be ultimately a 2-length victory here.
To be honest, I couldn't believe the price she was. She got no
13-1.
love. Yeah, she got no love at all because she was working very well, as well as any of the fillies were working. So I was blown away. I thought she'd be 4-1, 5-1. But she won. I said to Tyler beforehand, I said, this filly isn't any 13-1 shot. I said, I really like her. And he, she was a little green. She was a little green going to post. And I think Tyler tried to, get a lead for as long as he could. And she was a little green finishing up, but still she got the job done, and she did it pretty well, I think.
Well, that's her again right there. She's now targeting the pace setter. She's the one horse. She showed professionalism though, being, buried on the rail for a good part of the race.
Yeah, for sure. She wasn't intimidated by it. And Tyler being Tyler, he made all the right moves and gave her a nice introduction to the game, and he didn't beat up on her. I think he gave her one smack in the straight, and that was pretty much it.
Oh man,
she showed good acceleration.
She did. And I mean, again, that is just her first race ever. And look, another horse who looks pleased with themselves. Yep. She's like, yeah, I got that done. I got that done. Yeah, this horse also tremendous pedigree. She's daughter of Sioux Nation, who's a daughter of Scat Daddy. She's out of War Empress by War Command. And Sioux Nation, he had won the Group 1 Phoenix as a racehorse, and there's a Phoenix winner in the female family as well in Babouche. And then I also love that the fifth dam is Zizafon, who produced champions of Phonic and Zamindar, the latter of which sired the likes of Champion and Archvictoress Zarkava. So it's a very nice pedigree again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a lovely, lovely page. Ren, like we were saying earlier on, it all bodes well for our future.
Oh, absolutely. And so what do you do with a filly like this now that, okay, we're a little late in the game to go Breeders' Cup, but what is provided all goes smoothly, the ideal?
See. I mean, she's probably a filly that's, again, she's going to make a nice 3-year-old. So we might give her another run somewhere, maybe, a winner's race at Churchill, something like that. And maybe give her a little freshening and the spring doesn't belong about coming around either. If you're going to go for a stake at Keeneland in April and you want to get a run into them beforehand, and you're going to be running them in, early March, late February. So once we get once we get a month or 6 weeks further down the line, you're almost getting them ready again to go for the spring. So it doesn't be long about coming around at all. Believe me, it comes around kind of quicker than you think sometimes.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. And another horse that we're going to have to, I believe, look forward to in the future, Bella Ballerina. I mean, this is the Street Sense half sister to horse near and dear to you, Oaks winner, champion, Pretty Mischievous. And
Yeah,
boy, did she not let you down here. 4 1/4 length score with Tyler aboard. Godolphin homebred out of Pretty City Dancer by Tappet. I got the video here. No, she definitely didn't go off at a big price. Everybody knew.
No, it was hard to keep her hidden. But she ran really well, Rain. She didn't get away from the gate super fast, but Tyler said she took the kickback exceptionally well. We had her plenty work in her. But she, again, like some of the others, she got delayed. She got a little sick on us when we were originally intending on running her in I think maybe July. So we had to back off her for a few weeks. But like I said earlier on, little extra time never does them any harm.
Yeah.
She's obviously a sister to Pretty, so she's I've had three sisters out of the same family, and they've all, well, Pretty, obviously we know what she did, but her other sister, Pretty Sassy, was a very nice filly too, and this one looks like she could be right up there as well. So it was good to see her do what she did on Sunday, and hopefully it's just the start of bigger things to come.
Yeah, she knows what her job is, apparently. My goodness. She listened to Tyler, and that's ultimately, again, a 4 1/4 length score for her on debut. So they're added. I actually, you know what? I heard you be asked this question. I'll ask you here as well, so you can give your answer to this audience. When you do have a horse who has this type of pedigree, who you've had this relationship with her sister, her half sister, is there the added pressure, even if it's just for you yourself, that you're putting on about wanting to get her straight away into the winner's circle?
Yeah, I don't know if there's really, if they look like they're really nice, you obviously want to try and do like maybe we did with Pretty, but there's very few that are as good as Pretty. So not really pressure. I mean, Godolphin are great. They never put you under any pressure, but when you realize they do have potential, then you try to do the right thing by them. And look, it's more of a privilege than pressure, I think, really, Jen or Ren, to have horses of that caliber and have horses with that with them kinds of pedigrees. So long may it last, and hopefully these mares keep producing nice foals, and hopefully we'll have some of these foals in years to come as well.
Yeah, no, that's all you can hope. And who knows, maybe stakes races named after. I mean, we have Yeshua Levalay chiming in from Churchill Downs. Greetings from Churchill Downs to Ren and to you, Mr. Walsh. And Churchill Downs, where you have a race named after one of your charges, specifically Maxfield. Pretty cool to have a horse or a race named in honor of a horse you trained.
Yeah, no, for sure. He was a great racehorse, Ren, and he's starting to show up now as a stallion too.
I know.
He's starting to do really well. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see,
Oh, I've told you this before in person, but I'll say it again. Doing that Future Stars forecast stream live from the backside at Keeneland after he'd won the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity with you, he made an impression straight away. I mean, I already liked him from a Page standpoint because you all know my obsession with Family 1X, and he's from that family. But I was obviously not as heartbroken, but I was not far, in terms of the pain I felt when he had to miss the Breeders' Cup. I was so looking forward to him running. Obviously, again, you guys really felt that, but I was disappointed too. But to then see what he did after the fact, never finished out of the money, multi-millionaire, just an incredible racehorse and gorgeous on top of it.
Yeah, no, he had all the qualities of a very good horse. You know, he had the physicality, he had the mind. He was just a very good horse. Unfortunately, he was curtailed a little bit by injuries, but at least none of them ever really put an end to his career, or that we were always able to bring him back. And I think it was a tribute to him that he was able to come back. But
Yes.
oh, he was a serious horse, and just great memories of him, Ren, because he was, you just wonder if you'd ever have a horse as spectacular as him ever again,
Oh, I believe it'll happen. I actually had Jose Ortiz on last week, and somebody asked him, who's the best horse you've ever ridden? And Jose said Maxfield.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think, like, when he was at his best, and that he was an absolute machine,
Yeah. Matt still gets a kick out of the fact that he got to do an interview with you for his final race. And that's a moment that stands out to Matt. So it is interesting how, a horse can really touch people.
Of course. And he was such a sweet horse too. He was a big, huge horse, as but he was like a sweetheart. Like, as a temperament, he was a pet. I mean, anybody could walk up to him and pet him, and he'd never bite, or I never once saw him do anything bad. He was just a cool horse. And we hope he goes on, and we hopefully get lots of sons and daughters of his down the line.
It is remarkable watching his progeny. This is I think the test of it, for a horse to be basically, brown, or bay. Oh, we lost Brendan's. Well, I hear him. Brendan, you still there? Can you hear me? Oh, there you are. You hear me now? I think he's getting reconnected. Can you hear me, Brendan? Okay, I'm going to text him. Maybe he needs to pop out and pop back in, and then we'll have him back because the audio is not there. Can you hear me now? I'm waving. Let's see here. I'm going to text him. Maybe if you pop back in. This has been the theme, I feel like, for this year's Future Stars forecast. We've had technical difficulties with just about everybody. If you could just pop back.
Losing my sound.
Yeah. Let's see. If you want to just pop back in, is what I'm going to text. You want to just pop back in. Let's try that. We'll see. Okay. And so now I just texted him, and we'll see him pop back in. But I mean, talking about Maxfield, what I was going to say while we wait for Brendan to rejoin us was that it's really incredible, because here's this horse. I mean, not all, a bunch of chrome. There he is. He's already back. Oh, no worries.
I lost my sound.
It happens. This has been the theme of this year's Future Stars forecast. I think every guest I've had this season has had a technical difficulty, except like maybe two. But I was just saying, Maxfield, I think one of the testaments for him also is it, for a horse that's not all this chrome and flash and all that, to like stand out. They talk the brown paperback, like just absolutely gorgeous. That Hershey color coat of his, and then these babies, he like, they look like him.
Mm-hmm. They do. I can see a lot of it. Some of them more than others, but I've seen some of them, and it's scary because like how much they look like him. I mean, obviously, I used to look at him a lot. But he definitely stamps them, which I think is a great sign of a
Absolutely.
of a stallion. They generally have resemblance.
Oh my gosh. And again, it's really awesome to see a horse like Maxfield continue on as a stallion, and I mean and have the success he's having. I mean, in fact, it looks like I'm just looking at his stallion register page, and he's had $1 million babies go through the ring. He's off. I mean, this is just to get started like this and already show such prepotency. It just makes you like imagine that these books getting better and better year after year. I mean, what are we going to see?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Definitely. And and I should give a shout out to Street Sense, because he's by Street Sense and he's out of Velvety by Bernardini, a 3-part sister to Sky Mesa. So, I mean, the pedigree is just lit. And then speaking of Street Sense, hold on 1 minute. I'm pulling up my notes here. We got to talk about another scion of Street Sense, your win and you're in distaff pointed filly. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. No, let me back that up. Bella Ballerinas by Street Sense, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to talk about Hightail is the sire of Jinjin. By the way, Hightail did win when we had the juvenile sprint on dirt. He won that. Pretty cool. Son of Mine Shaft, so AP Indy line. And then she's out of Before You Know It by Hard Spun. Now, Jinjin actually came to you earlier this year. You won the double dog dare with her in the first start for the barn by 5 1/4 lengths.
Yeah,
So,
she's been a strange one. And we got her about 2 months before the double dog dare, if even that, and we did very, very little work with her going into that because we were a little restricted on time. I didn't know what to think. But she won it. She got a great ride from Jose again, and we ran her back at Churchill in the next mare's stake there, and she ran okay. And then she came back, we ran her again at Churchill, and she didn't run as well, and she just went a little downhill on us.
in the Fleur de Lis.
Yeah, and she just went a little downhill on us. She didn't look as good, and I think she's a filly, has her time of year. We said that we'd give her one more go, and in order to try and get her looking right, I said we'd send her to Saratoga for the summer, and she did really well up there. Every time I went up there, she got better and better, and we only did like 5 works, I think, with her coming back into this race, so she doesn't need a ton of work. And we shipped her back. I worked her out of the gate last week at Keeneland, and she flew, and she looked fantastic. So I think she's one of them that she just has to be doing right. And I think if she is, as she proved in the spring and as she proved the other day, she can be tough with any company. So it was great. She's as tough as nails. She's a very admirable filly because she's just hardy, and hats off to her. I mean, she beat 2 very, very good fillies the other day.
Yes. So I have the replay here. Did you always know that you were gonna try for the lead, or did you just go?
I told Louis to be aggressive with her. I told him, because we did that in the double dog dare. We kind of we didn't go to the lead, but we sat off of it early. It was very similar to the other day, but I said to him, ride her to win, don't ride her to be placed, and don't be afraid to ask her early either, because she seems like she likes to get wound up. So he got on her pretty good around the half-mile pole. I thought they were gone a little too quick, but hats off to her for holding them fillies off. Because they had every chance to go by her at any point.
No, I mean, you had the 2 horses. I mean, people thought it was going to be a 2-horse race. I mean, you had Torpedo Anna sitting right off you there, and then you had Nitrogen off of her. And Jinjin, just like as you said, she never backed down.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, she's as tough as nails, and she, they had every chance to go by her, and she wasn't letting them by. That's what's fun about her is she's just so tough.
Can you talk about just the disparity of, like, one minute you're thinking, oh well, maybe she wants to be a mom, or let's go grade one.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. She's a grade two winner, and so we're like, what else are you going to do? We
Yeah,
we said we'd give it a go. Mr. Kelly was keen to give her one more shot, and we said we would. And you know, she obviously loves Keeneland too.
yeah.
Um, but hopefully she comes out of it good, and we go to California. And if she shows up in California like she did on Sunday, then she won't be too far away either. And.
It was interesting. So when you're watching this race live and you see Torpedo Anna is just not going to run her race, and then coming off the turn, it's nitrogen coming for you, and she sidles up alongside. What are you thinking?
I mean, she looked at the quarter pole. You would have bet all your money on nitrogen. She
Yeah.
looked like he had a double handful, and he was going to go by whenever he wanted. But Jinjin had other ideas about it.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Like I said, I mean, that's very admirable about her. She's just a hard trying filly, and you can't put love horses like that.
No, and again, just the fact that not only was she doing this off consideration of, okay, what are we going to do with her next? She had not run since June.
Exactly. That's the thing. We didn't. We gave her plenty of time to get over the spring, and maybe she's one of them. She's that type of filly. Maybe she has some of the fillies seem to have certain times a year where they really
Like you were
they
saying,
really
yeah.
bloom. Yeah, I mean, she looked fantastic the other day. She didn't look like that at all in July when the weather was nice and hot. We couldn't get her looking good for whatever reason. But she's really blossomed now again, and hopefully she comes out of the race okay. Because she did have a hard race the other day, but
Mhm.
you know, hopefully she comes out of it good, and we'll roll on to Delmar.
I mean, that's just the second time that she ever went straight for the lead and took them all the way. And the other time she did it, she won that time as well. That was just her second start back at Churchill in September 2023, going 7 furlongs there. So that was cool to see. And as you also mentioned, though, she's shown that she has early speed enough to sit close to the pace setter. Um, so how do you, as you're talking about, a horse like her and keeping her looking good and whatnot? How do you anticipate you're going to train her up to the Breeders' Cup? Because again, you also mentioned that she had a run this time, and how much do you lay back?
I don't think she needs to do a whole lot between now and then. She's just got 4 weeks to the race, so we'll probably just do one or two works before it. But she seems like a filly. Sometimes less is better with her, so we won't overdo it. We'll let her come out of it, Rain, and see how she's doing in the next 10 days or so, and then we'll come up with a plan from there. But I think she just needs to be kept ticking over between now and then, and hopefully it'll be enough.
And when do you anticipate that you would want to ship out to Delmar? Everybody has
Um,
a different style in how they like to get their horses acclimated.
yeah, I think there's a plane going. There's a few planes go. They go kind of anything between 10 days and 6 days before the race. So there's not, unless you bring them out now and give them a long time out there. You're basically running anything off of the plane. So we'll probably just go out the week of the race, and we've shipped plenty of horses to California at this stage, and that seems to work fine. Keep them at home here. Hopefully the weather holds up in Kentucky and it stays pretty mild for the next few weeks. I think that's important, especially with fillies. And
Yeah.
and they arrive out there in good shape. But yeah, I can't. Hopefully they travel good. they're pretty easy fillies to be around, so they should all be pretty good, and touch wood, we get a good run between now and then, and they arrive out there in their best shape, and hopefully the racing gods take care of us out there.
Did you get to celebrate at all? I feel like trainers never really trainers and jockeys, I feel like never really get to celebrate.
Not a lot. No, we didn't. It's a busy time of year. Well, all time of year is busy, but
Yeah.
we had a few drinks Sunday evening. Keeneland is home for me, so I've got a lot of
Yeah.
my friends around there and that. So we had a few drinks for sure after the races, but nothing serious, because it feels like now there's another target to go for. So we gotta point to that now, and not much time for celebration, unfortunately. But hopefully,
Yeah.
if we get a result at the Breeders' Cup, we'll have to do something then.
Oh, I should ask you, how's Gosger doing? When I was watching the Penn Mile or Penn Derby, or rather, I don't think that got enough notice. Like he hopped out of the gate gingerly. I mean, it wasn't one of those to the knees type starts, but it was bad enough that I've said this lots before. If I get up wrong and I've got a little hitch to my giddy up, it takes me a few strides to get right again, right? It
Yeah,
certainly doesn't
no,
help to have a less than smooth start.
yeah, no, he didn't get the smoothest start, Rain, and then he got a little far back, was a little wide on the turn. Personally, I don't think he handled the track. I think that track is notorious. Some horses handle it, some horses don't. Louis felt that he had plenty of horse, but he said the horse was trying to go
Spinning
there,
his
but he
wheels a
just
bit.
wasn't. He was spinning his wheels, exactly. So he came out of it great, and
I saw you worked recently.
yeah, we worked him on Saturday. So we're going to have a look maybe at the Fayette at Keeneland, the end of the meet, because we know he likes Keeneland. So we'll have a look at the Fayette, and there's some really nice races for older horses in the early spring, late spring, and he should be like we've always this year. We always had next year in mind with the horse. So we've looked after him, and he's been very good to us. He hasn't run a bad race outside of
No?
at Parks the last day, but outside of that, he's been very, very good, and I think he's still a very fresh horse. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, he came back from the Parks race, and it was like he never even ran. So I think we just draw a line through it, and unless he gives us reason to, we'll roll on with him.
I love that. And you've got a lot of entries coming up at Horseshoe, at Keeneland. I mean, is there any standouts we love all the trainees, right? We love all the trainees in the barn, but is there a horse that you're looking forward to in particular, whether it's unveiling one of them, whether it's the QE2 this weekend with Lush Lips?
Yeah, we are looking forward to Lush Lips on Saturday. She's had a great year so far. Again, she's another one that hasn't run a bad race all year. And we've got some nice maidens and younger horses to come along as well. So
Yeah.
plenty to look forward to.
As I don't like to put you too much on the spot, because you got all your owners, and I'm sure the owners are like, oh yeah, which horse?
Yeah, no, there's too many to mention.
Yeah.
Right, there's a bunch of them. If it was this time last week, I probably would have brought up Bella, but I don't know that we've another Bella. But we've got some nice horses to come along there now for the in the next while.
Well, I'm always happy to hear that. I'm such a fan. You're always so kind, and you're always so humble, and I posted earlier today that you were going to be on the show, and as I'm never surprised. Let me put it that way. I'm never surprised when I get the feedback of saying, "Oh, that's great. He's such a wonderful horseman. He's a true horseman."
I don't know about that.
Yes, you are. See, there you go again. I gotta be everybody's hype chick. Everybody that like I feel I've spoken to recently, they're so humble. And I'm like, okay, well then I'll be your hype chick. I'll tell everybody how awesome you are.
This game will keep you humble,
It
and don't
it
worry.
does. No, it does. But
Yeah,
it's a testament to the hard work that you and your team put in. That I mean, to have a weekend like this in particular, and one of the, I mean, when you have so many eyeballs on this particular weekend as it is, and
yeah,
just
for
the
sure. It's big. Like I said, it's on our home patch, and it's nice for my team too because they work so hard, and it's very enjoyable. They were all buzzing coming into it, and we knew we had some nice horses, and it's good for them too. It's good for morale, and it's good for everything just through and
yeah.
through, and it gives you a nice boost for the rest of the year.
No, undoubtedly. And I, again, to do it, like as you said, Keeneland's your home track there. So it's nice to be able to walk back to that barn after,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, and just enjoy. And I'll ask you this before I wrap things up. How do you like the new renovations? I think they're awesome.
Yes, very, very nice. They did an excellent job on the paddock. It looks fantastic. I mean, it really, really looks
Yeah.
good. I mean, you can that's right up there with any facility in the world. And they did a nice job on it practically too. I think it's kind to the horses, which we always worry about. And I think it was nice for people too. I think people got a fair shot at getting to see the horses before the races. I like the winner's circle too for the stakes after. I
Yeah.
think it's a little more practical where it is. And hopefully we'll be in there a lot more between now and whenever. We really like it.
That's right. You've definitely got to see up close and personal a lot this past weekend. And I am so excited that Breeders' Cup is going to be back at Keeneland next year. And
Yeah, yeah, always nice, Rain. If we get lucky with the weather
yeah.
is the main thing with that. But it really the few times they've had it there, it's been excellent, and we've gotten lucky, and it's nice for us because I mean we love going to California, and you
Yeah.
can't beat it, but it's also nice to have home advantage too. I think you're
Oh,
at a
yeah.
slight disadvantage when you have to ship. Um, so it's nice to have it back at Keeneland again, and like I said, they've got a world class facility. It's even better now than it's ever been. So we look forward to it.
A world-class facility with world-class people running their horses there. Among them, you, Mr. Brendan Walsh.
Thank you very much.
I have to ask you a question before I let you go. But that's going to be off camera because it's about filming. So everybody, this has been your Future Stars forecast on a 2-year-old Tuesday featuring one of my favorites, Brendan Walsh. I hope you enjoyed. And again, congratulations on all the success. Hope it keeps on rolling.
Thanks, Ren.